Massive strikes happened in critical locations in Yemen overnight, marking the first time in months Israel struck the Houthi hotbed after their ballistic missile hit Ben Gurion Airport on Sunday.
In just minutes, Israel's F-15s unleashed precision air power that obliterated a Houthi-controlled airport. This is no ordinary mission. It sent shockwaves across the Middle East. But here's the twist. How did they strike so deep, with such accuracy, and face zero resistance? The details will leave you stunned. This mission unfolded before sunrise, leveraging terrain masking over the Red Sea and employing advanced electronic warfare to penetrate hostile airspace undetected. The operation was meticulously planned, reflecting not only tactical skill, but also a calculated message to adversaries in the region. To understand why Israel chose this target, we need to examine the airport's role in the broader conflict. The airport in question stood at the center of Houthi operations, serving as the primary hub for weapons transfers, drone launches, and logistical support. Its runways and specialized facilities were not just for civilian use. They were repurposed to accommodate military-grade cargo planes and convoys, enabling the steady flow of arms and technology from Iran. Satellite imagery confirmed arms convoys and drone storage buildings at the airport, providing direct evidence of its operational transformation. This infrastructure allowed the Houthis to coordinate attacks across the region, with the airport functioning as a launchpad for both aerial and maritime aggression. Since October 2023, UN tracking has verified that the Houthis have launched over 400 missiles and drones, many of which originated from this airport. These attacks targeted not only Israel, but also commercial shipping and regional adversaries, disrupting critical trade routes in the Red Sea and the broader Middle East. The airport's role in facilitating these operations was clear. It was the logistical backbone for the group's expanding strike capabilities. The flow of Iranian-supplied weaponry through this site enabled the Houthis to maintain a constant threat posture, challenging both military and civilian interests throughout the region. Beyond its military applications, the airport also played a pivotal role in the Houthis' control over aid and local populations. By regulating the distribution of humanitarian supplies, the group used the airport as leverage, reinforcing its image as both a provider and a gatekeeper. This dual function, serving military operations while consolidating political power, made the facility indispensable to the Houthi leadership. Aid shipments arriving at the airport were often repurposed for propaganda, allowing the Houthis to portray themselves as protectors, even as they tightened their grip on contested territories. The operational significance of the airport extended further. Its secure storage areas and command centers allowed the Houthis to manage increasingly complex drone and missile attacks. From this location, they orchestrated strikes on Saudi oil infrastructure and coordinated harassment of Western vessels navigating the Red Sea. The pattern of attacks, nearly 100 incidents against shipping in recent years, demonstrated the reach and persistence of the threat. Each successful operation out of the airport sent a message to adversaries and amplified the Houthis' influence far beyond Yemen's borders. Iran's involvement was central to the airport's strategic value. The facility operated as a conduit for Tehran's arms shipments, which sustained the Houthi war effort and expanded Iran's influence in the Arabian Peninsula. By facilitating the flow of advanced weaponry and technology, the airport became a critical node in Iran's proxy network. This relationship allowed the Houthis to challenge regional stability, disrupt international shipping, and threaten Israeli and allied interests with increasing frequency and sophistication. For Israel, the continued operation of this airport represented an unacceptable risk. The facility's capacity to support the rapid movement and deployment of Iranian-supplied drones and missiles made it a persistent threat to both national security and regional stability. The strike on the airport was not simply a tactical move. It was a calculated effort to dismantle a vital link in the Houthis' operational chain and to send a clear message to Iran and its proxies. With the airport's strategic value established, let's see how Israel's F-15I overcame Yemen's air defenses to reach it undetected. The F-15I Ram stands out not simply for its speed or firepower, but for the integration of advanced systems that allow it to operate deep inside hostile territory. Developed specifically for long-range precision strikes, the F-15I is the product of decades of adaptation to the demands of modern warfare. Its systems are engineered to meet the challenges of heavily defended airspace, where the margin for error is minimal and the consequences of detection are severe. Electronic warfare is at the core of the F-15I's survivability. The aircraft's onboard suite is anchored by the ELTA EL-8222 jamming pod, a system built to detect enemy radar emissions in real time and respond with targeted interference. In trials, the pod spoofed Soviet-designed spoon rest radars with staggered jamming pulses, just like in tonight's mission. The EL-8222 can simultaneously jam multiple frequencies, blinding air defense networks and breaking radar lock before surface-to-air missile batteries can respond. This capability is further enhanced by the F-15I's ability to deploy chaff, adding another layer of protection as it moves through dense, multi-node air defense environments. Navigation and targeting precision are equally critical. The Elbit 4 helmet-mounted display projects essential flight and targeting information directly onto the pilot's visor, overlaying terrain contours, radar threats, and target tracks with a rapid refresh rate. This allows pilots to keep their eyes forward during low-level flight, which is necessary for terrain masking and radar evasion. During the approach to the target, the F-15 has maintained altitudes as low as 150 feet above the Red Sea, using the HMD to navigate complex terrain and avoid early warning systems. The result is a platform that can operate under the radar, literally and figuratively, while keeping pilots focused on the mission. The strike's effectiveness depended on the right choice of munitions. The Rampage missile, developed by Israel Aerospace Industries and Israel Military Industries, is a standoff weapon designed for deep penetration attacks. The Rampage cruises at Mach 1.5 for 145 kilometers and packs a bunker-busting warhead optimized for hardened targets. Its smart flight profile and passive guidance system allow it to evade modern air defenses, ensuring that high-value targets can be struck from a safe distance. For this mission, the Rampage was pre-programmed with precise target coordinates, enabling near-simultaneous impacts on multiple hardened structures, including runways, storage bunkers, and command centers. Range is another critical factor in deep strike operations. The F-15I's conformal fuel tanks are integrated along the fuselage, adding over 4,500 pounds of fuel without increasing the aircraft's radar cross-section or aerodynamic drag. This design allows the F-15I to conduct extended range missions at low altitude, minimizing the risk of detection. Backed by KC-707 REM tankers, each F-15 I topped off in under 3 minutes over international waters, ensuring the jets could reach their targets with a full weapons load and without compromising their stealth profile. The tankers themselves are equipped with Israeli-built avionics for encrypted mission coordination, preserving operational security throughout the refueling process. Precision in execution is supported by the F-15I's advanced avionics and mission planning. Pilots rely on preloaded GPS coordinates and the aircraft's navigation systems to guide their weapons with high accuracy. The helmet-mounted display overlays targeting data, enabling pilots to confirm and engage targets without diverting their attention from the flight path. This integration of targeting and navigation systems reduces the risk of error and ensures that each missile finds its intended mark. The use of pre-programmed missile trajectories and simultaneous launches allowed the F-15Es to achieve their objectives quickly and withdraw before the enemy could mount an effective response. Operating in a contested environment requires resilience against evolving threats. The F-15I's EW suite is designed to adapt in real time, analyzing radar emissions and deploying countermeasures as needed. During the strike, the EL-8222 pods disrupted enemy tracking and prevented radar operators from achieving a firing solution. The combination of electronic warfare, low-altitude flight, and precise timing enabled the strike package to reach its targets undetected and exit before air defenses could react. The effectiveness of these systems is demonstrated by the absence of any successful interception or collateral damage attributed to the operation. Every element of the F-15I's arsenal serves a purpose: to deliver decisive results with minimal risk. The ability to strike fortified targets deep inside hostile territory, while avoiding escalation or unintended casualties, highlights the sophistication of modern air power. The next step is to examine how this arsenal was put into action. how precision, timing, and coordination enabled the mission to unfold with surgical accuracy. Initiating the strike required a blend of tactical discipline and technical precision. In the hours before dawn, Israel's F-15 IRAM jets launched from Hatsam Air Base at 0213 hours local time. Their mission clear: neutralize the Houthi-controlled airport while avoiding escalation. The jets maintained total radio silence, immediately dropping to just 150 feet above the Red Sea. This low-altitude approach minimized exposure to radar, demanding constant attention from the pilots to keep within such a narrow altitude band. The darkness provided additional cover, making the formation difficult to detect against the water's surface. Terrain and environmental awareness shaped the flight path. The F-15 is navigated through radar shadow zones, using the contours of islands and coastal features to further mask their movements. Pilots powered down non-essential systems, reducing the aircraft's signatures. These actions, combined with the F-15I's low radar cross-section, made the jets exceptionally difficult for Houthi surveillance to track. Each maneuver was calculated to exploit gaps in radar coverage, ensuring the approach remained undetected. Crossing into Yemeni airspace, the F-15 is encountered hostile radar systems, including Soviet-origin Spoon Rest and P-19 search radars. These legacy systems, still integrated into the Houthi air defense network, posed a credible threat. To counter this, the F-15 relied on the EL 8222 jamming pod, which automatically cycled through frequencies to blind Houthi radars. The pod's integration with the mission computer allowed pilots to concentrate on navigation and targeting, confident that the electronic warfare suite was actively neutralizing detection and tracking attempts. Approaching the target area, the pilots received confirmation from satellite imagery and intelligence that key assets were present at the airport: 6 Shahed 136 drone transports, 4 mobile radar units, and a suspected command post. The targeting overlays on the pilot's helmet-mounted displays provided real-time confirmation of each objective. At exactly 0307 hours local time, the F-15 released their first wave of Rampage missiles. Each missile was pre-programmed with coordinates for hardened structures, runways, storage bunkers, and operational centers. The Rampage's Mach 1.5 velocity and passive guidance enabled it to strike before Houthi air defenses could respond. The missile's flight profiles avoided terminal emissions, denying defenders the opportunity to acquire a last-minute infrared lock. The impact was immediate. The Rampage missiles destroyed the designated targets with high precision, cratering runways, demolishing drone hangars, and eliminating radar installations. The strikes were confined to military infrastructure, with no spillover into adjacent civilian areas. The rapid destruction of these assets effectively paralyzed the airport's operational capability within minutes. As the F-15 turned to exit, Houthi forces responded by launching SA-6 gainful surface-to-air missiles. The jets immediately executed a defensive split maneuver, each aircraft deploying chaff bundles to disrupt missile tracking. The formation's sudden divergence complicated the enemy's targeting solution. The EL 8222 pods continued their jamming cycles, and telemetry showed the missiles veering off course and detonating harmlessly behind the retreating jets. The pilots maintained discipline and cohesion, accelerating out of the engagement zone without further incident. Post-strike satellite imagery revealed the extent of the damage: runways rendered unusable, hangars reduced to debris, and command structures obliterated. The operation's precision ensured that no collateral damage extended into civilian zones. Local reports described the strikes as highly localized, with the airport's military functions eliminated in under 15 minutes. Throughout the mission, coordination was constant. Intelligence analysts monitored developments and provided updates to Mission Command, allowing for real-time adjustments. Surveillance and reconnaissance ensured that every missile was directed at verified threats. The blend of stealth, speed, and technological integration defined the operation's effectiveness. Mission planners called it textbook execution. 15 minutes from takeoff to target neutralization. This operation did more than cripple a single airport. It offered a demonstration of capability and resolve, carried out with discipline and accuracy. The implications extend beyond the immediate tactical gains, raising questions about how adversaries and regional actors will interpret and respond to such a decisive show of force. The regional impact of Israel's strike extends far beyond the immediate battlefield. The destruction of the Houthi-controlled airport was a deliberate signal, a message to Iran, the Houthis, and the broader Middle East that Israel is willing to project force deep into hostile territory to neutralize threats at their source. By targeting such a critical facility, Israel not only disrupted Houthi operations, but also challenged the network of Iranian-backed proxies that rely on these logistical hubs to sustain their campaigns. The loss of the airport dealt a significant blow to Houthi military capabilities. This was not merely a transportation hub. It served as the primary conduit for Iranian weapons, a launch site for drones, and a center for coordinating attacks across the region. Its destruction immediately hindered the Houthis' ability to move arms, launch aerial threats, and maintain operational momentum. The strike severed a vital link in the group's supply chain, limiting their ability to project power and respond quickly to shifting battlefield realities. Iran, as the principal backer of the Houthis, could not ignore the implications. Israeli leaders have made it clear that every attack on Israeli territory, such as the Houthi missile strike on Ben Gurion Airport, will be met with a forceful response. Defense Minister Israel Katz stated, "Anyone who hits us, we will hit them 7 times stronger." This posture is designed to deter further aggression and to warn Tehran that its efforts to expand influence via proxies will face direct and costly consequences. Prime Minister Netanyahu's assertion that the attacks emanate from Iran reinforces the message that Israel views these incidents as part of a broader regional contest. The ripple effects of the strike are felt not only in Yemen, but throughout the region. By demonstrating the ability to strike key Houthi infrastructure, Israel has also sent a message to other regional actors. The targeting of Hodeidah and Al Salaf ports, both essential for Houthi logistics and revenue, further amplifies this signal. Disrupting operations at these ports hampers the flow of Iranian arms, interrupts the Houthis' control over aid distribution, and reduces their ability to generate income from exports. According to the IDF, these facilities may remain inoperable for weeks, if not longer, curbing the group's military and economic reach. Almost immediately, the Houthis fired missiles at Ben Gurion Airport, an expected backlash that underscores the tit-for-tat dynamic now shaping the conflict. While these retaliatory strikes cause limited damage, they serve as a reminder that escalation carries risks for all parties involved. The Houthis' willingness to respond quickly reflects both their own resolve and Iran's broader strategy of using proxy forces to maintain pressure on Israel and its allies. The United States' response to this escalation has been marked by restraint. Following its May 6 ceasefire with the Houthis, Washington has refrained from further airstrikes, opting instead to monitor developments and support regional partners diplomatically. This calculated position allows the U.S. to avoid direct entanglement while still maintaining a deterrent posture through its alliance with Israel. However, American officials remain alert to the possibility that a broader conflict could force a reassessment, especially if Houthi attacks expand beyond Israeli targets or threaten international shipping in the Red Sea. On the ground, the operational consequences are substantial. The neutralization of the airport and the disruption of key ports have slowed the flow of Iranian weapons into Yemen and reduced the Houthis' ability to exert control through aid and economic leverage. This weakens their position, not only militarily, but also politically, as their capacity to present themselves as providers to the Yemeni population is diminished. The strikes have also forced adversaries to reconsider the security of other high-value targets, knowing that Israeli intelligence and air power can reach deep into territory previously considered secure. The Red Sea corridor, vital for global commerce and energy supplies, now faces greater instability. The risk of further Houthi maritime attacks remains, but Israel's actions have demonstrated a willingness to defend these routes decisively. This reassures regional partners, while also increasing pressure on Iran and its proxies to adapt their strategies. Israel's strike marks a shift in the regional balance, setting a new precedent for how threats will be addressed. The question now is whether Iran will manage to regroup its supply lines, or if Israel has truly shifted the strategic calculus. Comment below. Understanding these developments is essential for anyone interested in the evolving nature of modern conflict and the role of precision air power in shaping outcomes. The F-15 strike on the Houthi-controlled airport marked a calculated demonstration of Israel's willingness to project power beyond its borders. By destroying a critical logistics hub, Israel sent a direct message to the Houthis and their backers in Tehran, underscoring its ability to conduct precise, high-stakes operations deep within hostile territory. The mission highlighted the effectiveness of advanced air power and the decisive impact that modern weaponry can have on regional dynamics. If you found this breakdown valuable, hit like, subscribe, and tap the bell to stay updated on future deep dives. Next, we'll track how Tehran recalibrates after this blow, so turn on notifications for our upcoming analysis.